Tonight on CTV News, Robson Square murder.
We believe that the victim had an interaction prior to being stabbed.
A 15-year-old boy stabbed to death on a busy Saturday night downtown. The hunt is now on for his killer.
I can see what's coming for these folks and the pressure that they're under.
Window on World Cup, an exclusive interview with John Furlong on what he says could be done better. What the former Van Ock boss has told the mayor and the premier.
Anything we can do to support those small businesses and also help make our city more vibrant in the year right before FIFA.
The city's move to let bars and restaurants stay open till 3 a.m. The concerns being raised about the impact on the community.
This is CTV News with Mi Jung Lee.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Vancouver police are looking for the killer of a 15-year-old boy. The murder happened Saturday night in Robson Square shortly before midnight. Police say the teen was stabbed to death. CTV's Martin McMahon joins us live from Robson Square with more on what we know. Martin?
Mi Jung, police say this happened during what they're calling a violent altercation. It happened shortly before 11:40, and at that point, a passerby called 911. The boy was treated on the Howe Street side of Robson Square, but ultimately died of his injuries in hospital on Sunday. This happened on a busy night where many had flooded into the downtown core for the Celebration of Light fireworks show. Following the stabbing, there was a significant police presence with much of the area around Robson Square, the art gallery, and the law courts draped in police tape. The VPD drone unit was also brought in to survey the area from above.
Whenever somebody dies, it's a tragedy, and it's an incredible impact on that person's family, friends, and community. And that tragedy and that impact is magnified when we're talking about somebody who's still a child, in this case, a 15-year-old boy.
Police say they have not made any arrests, and they are not identifying the victim, only saying that the boy lived in Surrey. What investigators really need at this point is witnesses. There's also a request for dash cam footage if you happen to be driving in that area around Robson Square around 11:40 on Saturday. Mi Jung?
Martin McMahon reporting live tonight from Robson Square. The province is spending hundreds of millions of dollars on the World Cup next year. But what taxpayers are getting out of it is just as murky as the true price tag. Communication has been scant, and many British Columbians are in the dark about details. Now, CTV News has learned one of the most successful event planners in the world is encouraging organizers to be more transparent. Our Penny Daflos has this exclusive interview with John Furlong.
In February of 2010, downtown Vancouver was one big street party. Go Canada! Thousands of international visitors and British Columbians alike converged on the city to soak in the energy of the Winter Olympics. For all those people to have a good time, it takes a lot of planning and communication about what to expect.
The Van Ock communication enterprise is massive. We were communicating hourly, daily, every day on the build-up to the games.
John Furlong was the CEO of the Vancouver Olympic Organizing Committee and had this to say when CTV News asked if 2026 World Cup organizers need to do a better job connecting with a public that's disconnected.
They don't understand the event yet. They need to be able to understand it. They need to know how they fit in. Communication is central, and so as this moves along, the demand for information, the demand to know will grow. And so this, I think, is a huge thing for the organizers to get on top of.
Vancouver's first World Cup game is now less than 11 months away. A year before the 2010 Olympics, the transportation and security plans were clear, as was the legacy and the public's role in welcoming the world through volunteerism and even opening their homes for accommodations.
When these events are at their best, they're affecting everybody. So it's huge. And when it's huge, there's a lot of moving parts. And so it is a monster, and in a positive way. Like, it's not a negative thing.
Now retired, Furlong has attended multiple Olympics and FIFA World Cups and has a rare organizational insight neither the mayor nor the premier have when it comes to hosting international events.
I can see what's coming for these folks and the pressure that they're under. So I went to see the mayor, and I've encouraged him and told him that I see this as a massive opportunity for the city. but one that is going to take everything we have to give, every ounce of energy we have to commit to this, and all day, all night between now and the staging of those games. And I've communicated with the Premier the same thing.
Our Penny Daflos is here now. Penny, interesting to see the contrast in the lead up to, the Olympics versus World Cup. What does John Furlong think of the cost of hosting 7 games here in Vancouver?
Well, bluntly, he says, it's a lot of money. The World Cup games will all be held at one venue. There's no SkyTrain line or sea-to-sky highway construction to factor in. And he says organizers need to explain to taxpayers what the legacy is and what kind of value they're getting for their money during a time of tight budgets and a trade war. We're going to have that part of our conversation in tomorrow's story, part 2, Meechang.
Okay, looking forward to it. Thank you, Penny.
You bet.
Canada's premiers and territorial leaders are in Ontario's cottage country for 3 days, talking trade, tariffs, and teamwork. They were joined by Indigenous leaders today, and tomorrow will welcome the Prime Minister. As CTV's Rob Buffum reports, BC's premier is pushing for a softwood lumber deal as part of the talks with the U.S.
I want to welcome everyone to
Canada's premiers are meeting in Ontario's cottage country for their annual summer summit, hosted this year by Ontario's Doug Ford.
I'm feeling fantastic.
The focus, fighting U.S. President Trump's looming tariffs set to kick in August 1st. Premier Eby wants to see softwood lumber front and center in trade negotiations and is open to export quotas.
If we could get a deal on this, it would support Americans, it would support Canadians, and it would be a net win. I'm a huge fan of the idea. I've been advocating for that with the Prime Minister. Start with softwood, let's get a deal done. And I'm hopeful that he's hearing that message.
Today's events included a session with First Nations leaders who have pushed back on legislation designed to fast-track infrastructure projects and are calling for more consultation. The premiers emerged expressing support for a new meeting with First Nations leadership and the Prime Minister.
It's time now in 2025 that First Nations are at the table and that we have a bigger seat in this country.
Another issue on deck, this one with broad support, removing interprovincial trade barriers. More controversial, ongoing calls, especially from Alberta, for more pipelines through BC. Something Eby has resisted, but which the opposition BC Conservatives say is needed.
British Columbia is in a unique situation where we could be the nation builder. We could be opening up our ports, getting our natural gas out to international markets, getting our oil out to international markets, and becoming that unifying factor of all of Canada.
Pipelines didn't come up this morning, but Ford says bet on it tonight at his family's cottage where the premiers have gathered for a barbecue.
It's going to be a great conversation around the dinner table tonight, and everyone kind of lets their hair down, and that's one great thing about all the premiers.
The leaders will be back at it Tuesday along with the Prime Minister, plotting ways to strengthen Canada's economy and respond to tariff threats just 11 days away.
Rob joins us live from Victoria. And Rob, comments the U.S. ambassador made about Canadians have triggered a response from the Premier. Tell us about that.
That's right, Mei Jung. Earlier today, the Premier's office provided us with audio of a conversation that the ambassador had with a group in Washington state where he was asked about Canadians avoiding travel or boycotting travel to the States. He said that that was one of the reasons why Trump and his administration described Canadians as mean and nasty to deal with. Eby responded doubling down, saying it's obviously caught Trump's attention and encouraging British Columbians to continue traveling just within Canada and to continue the Buy Canada only. So obviously this trade war, there's lots of fires still there. Mei Jung.
Yeah, still plenty of tension. Thank you, Rob. The Surrey police transition is once again sparking friction, this time as a city councillor accuses the mayor of stalling the costly process with, quote, politically motivated speed bumps. Linda Annis released a statement today blaming Brenda Locke for adding an extra year to the full police transition through court challenges. Under the previous mayor, Surrey voted to transition away from the RCMP in 2018. The Surrey Police Service took over on November 29th, 2024. The transition will be complete when the RCMP's support is no longer needed. Annis says that was supposed to happen this year, but will now take until 2027. The SPS denies that claim, telling CTV News that all parties agreed the phased approach would take between 2 to 3 years. Vancouver bars may soon be open later. A report from the chief license inspector that looks to modernize regulations will be brought to City Council tomorrow. While businesses say it's about time, some are raising concerns. CTV's Craig Krause has that story.
Last call, make it an extension in Vancouver.
We fought really hard against No Fun City for a long time.
A fight nearing the last round as the city considers changes to its liquor service hours.
What it does help with is any positive change brings about other positive changes. So if we're moving forward in updating our regulations to be more modern and in tune with the rest of the world, then I think that's fantastic.
Bars in the downtown peninsula will be allowed to serve until 3 a.m., while those outside of downtown will be allowed to stay open until 3 a.m. on weekends and 2 on weekdays.
I support it. You know, it's been a long time coming.
A step in the right direction for many and applauded by the industry.
We have tough economic conditions right now, high interest rates. People are cutting back on eating out and going out. So anything we can do to support those small businesses and also help make our city more vibrant in the year right before FIFA.
While great for business, a professor at the Canadian Institute of Substance Use at UVic says there are dangers involved.
It's a particularly precarious time for violent incidents to occur.
This is something that potentially should be reconsidered.
Oh, absolutely. It's documented. There's dozens and dozens of published reports from cities all over the world showing that physical and sexual violence increases when trading hours go up.
The city says the VPD and Vancouver Coastal Health were consulted along with many in the hospitality sector. If run properly, Duprice says he's not worried.
It's going to be the same clientele that's in there at 2 in the morning that just wants to be there till 3. So that is completely insane that somebody would offer that up, and I totally disagree with it.
If approved on Tuesday, staff will be monitoring the rollout, and if there are any problems, rules may be adjusted and/or additional security measures could be added to help ensure safety. Craig Krause, CTV News, Vancouver.
A federal inmate has been charged with first-degree murder in the death of Robert Pickton. 52-year-old Martin Surrey was charged on July 3rd for allegedly attacking Pickton at Quebec's Port Cartier maximum security prison. Pickton died in hospital on May 31st, 2024, 12 days after he was assaulted. But no charges were laid at the time. A report released earlier this month revealed Pickton was assaulted by a fellow inmate who broke a broom handle and thrust it into his face. A separate report by an independent observer named Surrey as the suspect. Pickton was convicted in 2007 on 6 counts of second-degree murder, was suspected, though, of killing dozens more women at his pig farm in Port Coquitlam. The Vancouver Park Board will vote tonight on the final phase of removing dead trees from Stanley Park. One opposition group says depending on the outcome, they plan to take the Park Board back to court. CTV's Isabella Zaffarisi has the details.
This is one of the trails in Stanley Park, Lovers Walk, that Vancouver Park Board staff have flagged for the final stage of a mass tree removal that's been ongoing since 2023.
The hemlock looper moth killed 160,000 trees inside Stanley Park, and so far we've had to take down just more than 10,000 of them.
More trees will need to be cut down as the Park Board decides what to do about the remaining 42% of the park. Staff are recommending dead trees be removed from less frequented trails.
So you could have either do a big swath of trees on either side to clear out the dead trees, or you could do a narrower one. And the narrowest one they proposed was a 40-meter, is going through about 40 meters, 20 meters on either side of a path and clearing out the dead trees that are likely to fall.
On Monday evening, the Park Board will vote on the report.
Tonight is a pivotal time for Stanley Park, for the logging or the end of the logging, hopefully.
The Stanley Park Preservation Society has been a loud critic of the tree clearing. Director Michael Kaditz sued the city over it. The parties reached a temporary agreement this summer, but Kaditz says that could change.
If they decide to go ahead with the logging, then we'll be back in court within the next 2 months.
The group believes the operation is unnecessary.
We have come to the conclusion, our society has come to the conclusion through our research, that this entire looper issue it's really a manufactured crisis.
Public safety is not a hoax. we do care enormously about the ecological values of the park and the fact that it is the remnants of an old-growth forest, and we're trying to preserve that in the heart of a very congested urban area.
Park Board staff say if Phase 3 of the project goes ahead, it will be completed by 2027. Isabella Zavarisi, CTV News, Vancouver.
RCMP in Alberta are asking for the public's help finding a missing mother and her young daughter who are believed to be in the Vancouver area. 30-year-old Ashley Bartley and 4-year-old Marley Myers were last spotted just outside of Calgary and Cochrane on July 12th. The pair may be traveling in either a white Chevrolet Spark or a brown Chevy Silverado with Alberta plates. Anyone with information on the pair is asked to call Cochrane RCMP or Crime Stoppers. A Victoria woman is taking legal action after a bizarre discovery about her father's death. Why she says he was denied a dignified death and
it was not intended to ascribe blame, and it does not ascribe blame.
A year after wildfire devastated Jasper, the political sparks ignited by a report on the wildfire response. That's ahead. Tomorrow marks 1 year since wildfires surrounded the town of Jasper, Alberta, eventually destroying a third of its buildings. As the community works to rebuild, a report on the wildfire response has both the Premier and the town's mayor on the defensive. CTV's Jeremy Thompson reports.
The glow from the fire that hit Jasper was visible more than 80 kilometers down the highway that day. A wall of fire Parks Canada assessed at 50 meters high, propelled up the valley from the south by dry conditions and strong winds.
As the incident commander for the municipality of Jasper, I do believe there's nothing we could have done. There's no amount of resources or firefighters or air tankers that could have stopped that fire.
Crews tried to stop it. Fresh fire breaks, sprinkler systems, and teams on the ground couldn't stop homes and businesses catching fire from flaming debris raining from the sky.
You're always going to have an ember shower. Ahead of that fire will come the flying debris that will ignite something in your yard, something on your property.
Jasper is reviewing how the fire response could have been done better. An after-action report commissioned by the town and authored by 2 consulting firms was published last week. One small section suggesting the province disrupted the focus of incident commanders caught the ire of Premier Danielle Smith.
It took place in a federal park, and it was a federal Parks Canada response. So whatever it is that they are trying to do to deflect blame, I'm not impressed with it, and I would ask for an apology.
We have always acknowledged our gratitude to the province for the support that they have provided.
No apology from Mayor Richard Ireland, instead offering a clarification.
It was not intended to ascribe blame, and it does not ascribe blame. It describes circumstances.
The Premier also criticized Parks Canada's forest management before the fire, calling the efforts poor.
Parks Canada maintains it has been properly managing fire risk in the forest around Jasper. This is one of the areas where crews have cleared out certain trees and a bunch of other fuel. It is expensive work, and Parks Canada staff say it's a fine balance between public safety and keeping the area natural.
We did have a lot of fire risk reduction work on the landscape prior to last summer's fire, but the month of July last year was simply off the charts in terms of the hot, dry weather.
Officials with Parks and the town say the most practical improvement to reduce damage next time around is to get more people to fire smart their properties. Rebuilt homes will do that by default. The fire department is also rolling out a residential sprinkler system to be activated when the fire risk is high. In Jasper, Jeremy Thompson, CTV News.
Oh, so sad that they've got this long road to recovery. Stephanie Florian's here. You know, it's been so dry here in BC, but the wildfire season, not as bad as it could be.
Not as bad. We are seeing, I'm going to show this coming up a little bit later in the show, but the South Coast is nearing that moderate to high zone because we've had so much dry weather. The temperatures this weekend were manageable. They were a little on the cool side, actually. You can see tonight, though, we're still holding on to some heat inland, sections around Surrey and out towards the valley, still nice and warm tonight. So we're going to drop down to 16 degrees. Around the mountains tonight, we do have a risk of some thunderstorm activity, especially around Hope, around the Fraser Valley, even around the North Shore Mountains. So if you hear thunder roar, head indoors. A few passing showers are possible, but then through the evening, we are going to be clearing out, and by tomorrow, those clouds are gone, and we'll hit a high of 22 degrees. So a seasonal day for your day tomorrow.
CTV Weather brought to you by Expedia Cruises, customizing dream vacations with unbelievable value. Call or learn more at expediacruises.ca.
So temperatures are going to be heating up. I'm going to show you the full forecast coming up. And then, yeah, we will be entering the danger zone, I think, this week with our temperatures heading into the higher than seasonal time.
Very toasty. And I think the color of your dress kind of says it all. Bright sun,
I
right?
planned it well.
Yeah, you did. All right. Thanks, Stephanie. Well, a terrifying encounter for hikers when they came across a grizzly bear. Also ahead. Dramatic video of a ferry accident in Quebec as Tesla falls into the water. What it took for the driver to be rescued from the fierce current. That's ahead.
Sorry about the aggressive maneuver. It caught me by surprise. This is not normal at all.
A close call in the skies over North Dakota forced a Delta flight to make a series of quick turns to avoid a mid-air collision. The pilot telling his passengers after landing that he didn't get a heads up about an Air Force plane flying in the area. It's still not clear how close the two planes came to each other. The Air Force is investigating the incident. Dramatic video has surfaced of a chaotic rescue after a car fell off a ferry near Laval, Quebec last week. The Tesla only made it halfway onto the dock when one of the ferry's mooring lines detached. Seconds later, the car was pulled away by the current. The 67-year-old driver escaped the vehicle but was unable to reach the shore until a ferry employee jumped into the water to help him. The driver was treated in hospital for shock. The Tesla was recovered but is a total loss. More than 55,000 Canada Post workers have begun voting on the latest contract offer from their employer. The Canadian Union of Postal Workers is urging they reject the proposal. The offer includes wage hikes of about 13% over 4 years, but also calls for more part-time workers, a plan the union strongly opposes. Negotiations between Canada Post and the union have been ongoing for more than 18 months. Voting is open until August the 1st. There are growing concerns after recent social media posts warn two men convicted of killing women are active on dating apps in Alberta. The mother of one victim and some groups behind the warning posts say it's about protecting women. But legal experts say it raises questions about privacy and vigilantism. CTV's Terry Fakowski reports.
Ladies, be careful. Warning circulating on social media about two men with violent pasts active on dating apps in Alberta. Women on Wing Society, a domestic violence support group, posted, "Ladies beware," after seeing a profile on Facebook dating for a man convicted of manslaughter and causing indignity to the body of a Calgary mother.
You know, if these women are not fully aware of the background of these men that are on these dating sites or who they're meeting, there's a lot of potential for danger there.
The victim's mother also worries women may unknowingly end up on a date with her daughter's killer.
Because to me, people don't change. Anyone that's been charged or incarcerated with causing bodily harm or causing death, they really should come with a warning.
Other posts, like this one by Lost Souls Media, warn of another man convicted of second-degree murder of a woman in BC, now living in Calgary and spotted on dating apps. But a criminal defense lawyer says these men have been released from prison and served their debt to society.
When they're done, they're done. And they are entitled to all the rights and privileges of any other Canadian.
How did he serve his time? He was sentenced to life in prison and did 7 years. He didn't serve his time.
CTV News is not identifying the men because while we've seen the dating profiles, we reached out to both men to confirm they were created by them and aren't fake accounts, but did not hear back. The social media posts are also concerning for this legal expert who worries they could lead to vigilante action.
There have been lots of cases where individuals have misidentified someone, done harm to the person they've misidentified, and then face criminal charges themselves. So it's rolling the dice, and I don't think they should be doing that.
But to some, the warnings are warranted if they could possibly prevent another tragedy.
Me, her kids, her family, we get life. We get life without her.
A short hike turned into a big scare for one Calgary couple after they came face to face with a grizzly bear. This happened on a hike in Kananaskis country as the couple celebrated their anniversary. Fear, though, did not stop the husband from whipping out his phone and recording the terrifying encounter. The grizzly following the couple as they slowly walked away. When they picked up the pace, the bear raised onto its back legs and lunged towards them.
It got really large and it showed its claws, and it felt like it was going to attack us. So that was really, really frightening.
And so I put up both my hands, made myself as large as possible, and just roared as loudly as I could.
The two admit they were not properly prepared and say they will always carry bear spray when hiking from now on. A shocking discovery years after her father's death has prompted a Victoria woman to sue the health authority, and the BC Coroner's Service will explain ahead. And LA drivers can now fuel their bodies while they charge their Teslas. We'll show you Elon Musk's new 24-hour diner and drive-in theater ahead. A warning that some may be disturbed by the details in this next story. A Victoria woman is taking legal action after she claims her father's brain was sitting in a hospital fridge years after he was laid to rest. As CTV's Anna McMillan reports, the woman is suing Island Health and the BC Coroner's Service.
This is the jar that contained my dad's brain ashes in.
Ashes that were reunited with the rest of Peter Billy's remains years after he passed.
For some reason, his brain was not put back into his body.
Mandy Large says it was removed for examination during an autopsy after her father died in 2022. Before he was cremated, Large says the BC Coroner's Service said Billy's body and brain had been reunited at the Royal Jubilee Hospital in Victoria. Last September, she says the coroner let her know that hadn't actually happened.
She just said that they were cleaning out a fridge at Royal Jubilee Hospital, and they found my dad's brain in a jar, just stored in the back of the fridge.
The First Nations woman is suing the BC Coroner's Service and the Vancouver Island Health Authority for negligence and for breaching their duties of care. Large shared an email exchange she had with the coroner, which indicates a miscommunication led to the alleged mishandling of the brain.
So for me, my dad being cremated without his brain, it just meant that he was, in the spirit world without a brain.
She says her father endured residential school and had a difficult life.
Because of that, I found some peace in my dad passing away for him, because he no longer had to struggle. So when this happened, it just brought up so much more. My dad didn't get to die with dignity.
The Coroner's Service and Island Health say they cannot comment while the matter is before the court.
I don't think anybody else needs to experience this, and it's very preventable.
Large hopes the lawsuit ensures other families don't suffer in the same way and that hers gets the closure it seeks. Anna McMillan, CTV News, Victoria.
A new and unique attraction for Tesla drivers is now open in Los Angeles. This is a look at Elon Musk's new 24-hour diner and drive-in theater in Hollywood. The state-of-the-art facility will become a place where Tesla drivers can go to charge up their electric vehicles and enjoy food and a movie while they wait. According to reports, Musk is also trying to recruit high-profile chefs. A difficult rescue of a dolphin trapped in shallow waters. A team had to carry it more than 200 feet to safety. Also ahead.
This is one of the most iconic programs in the history of the PNE, the Prize Home Lottery.
The first peek at this year's PNE Prize Home, specially designed for the needs of a modern family. That's ahead. 3 bedrooms, 3.5 bathrooms, a 2-bedroom basement suite, and 1 whiskey tasting room. We'll get our first look at this year's fully furnished $2.5 million PNE Prize Home right after Stephanie's forecast. But first, a dolphin found itself in deep trouble until a team of rescuers stepped in to help. The bottlenose dolphin got stuck in a shallow lagoon in South Carolina over the weekend. Officials believe she swam into the lagoon during heavy rains and became trapped. Firefighters, marine experts, and several volunteers all worked together to carry the animal more than 200 feet using a stretcher. They nicknamed her Lucky and released her safely into deeper waters. Wow, no easy feat because a dolphin can weigh like more than 400 pounds.
I know, I was just going to say it took a lot of guys there to move her, but quite the rescue mission. So.
Yeah, and it all ended happily.
It
so
sure did.
Good for them.
Good evening, everyone. Happy Monday. We had a nice, comfortable weekend. Another comfortable day today, staying in that seasonal pocket as far as temperatures go. But we do have active weather, this upper low right now bringing rain as well as the risk of severe thunderstorm activity. So you can see the areas in yellow, the Okanagan, the South Thompson, as well as the Nicola and Boundary are under a severe thunderstorm watch. So if you hear thunder roar, head indoors. We could be seeing some downpours associated, potentially some flooding as well. So do take caution in those areas. And then we also have heat warnings. These are watches. These are warnings in place. North Coast, Central Coast, inland sections, which those temperatures will drop tomorrow night, your Tuesday night. So you can see the province here on the fire danger rating really divided in half. So all the areas in blue and green, the eastern half of the province has been getting all the rain lately. And we're here now, the lower mainland, heading into the red zone. So all this dry weather and with the temperatures that are coming, that's not great for what's ahead. So Terrace was the hot spot in Canada today at 30.8 degrees. Don't see Terrace on there very often, but those heat warnings are in place. Chance of some spotty showers as well as some thunderstorm activity tonight near our local mountains. So North Shore Mountains, Fraser Valley, around Maple Ridge could be hearing a little bit of thunder and lightning potentially. That is there. And here's your rain tracker. So it is going to stack up. We're going to see really in that southeastern pocket, Columbia, Kootenay region, that rain continue all through the day tomorrow. Clearing skies for Port Hardy, mostly sunny skies for Campbell River and Comox. Tomorrow's a seasonal day, and then it's once we get into Wednesday, things heat up. We've got a 30% chance of a few showers for Port Alberni, Sunshine Coast, 24 degrees up to 27 in Squamish, and there's the Fraser Valley holding on to about 30% risk of seeing a few passing showers tomorrow. But it is going to be a nice one, a very dry one for the next 7 days, and as you can see with our inland temperatures stacking near close to 30 degrees as we head into the weekend. So get ready for the heat. To CTV Weather is brought to you by Expedia Cruises for air, land, and sea vacations. All the sunblock, all the sun safety. Yeah.
And it's interesting, though, that the eastern half of the province, though, is doing okay.
Yeah, it is. We do have fire bans in place, so that's everybody needs to know that.
All right. Thanks, Stephanie. Well, we are about to take you inside one of the most coveted buildings in the province. We mean the PNE Prize Home. And this year's edition is just as deluxe, but is designed for today's modern family. Sinjin Alexander gives us a look.
Not ostentatious, but impressive nonetheless. Modern, clean from the outside. The real showcase is past the front doors. Open concept, living room, dining room, kitchen with high-end appliances. And this is not the main floor, but the two-bedroom suite.
Folks buying tickets here at the PNE were telling us that they really appreciated was having a suite in the basement, either for a multi-generational family or for an income helper. And so that's something that we've delivered on for the last several years.
Delivered upstairs, the great room, split staircase, fireplace, dining off the kitchen with more of the finest. 3 bedrooms upstairs with a walk-in closet, of course, and a separate tub and shower in one of the home's 3.5 bathrooms.
You still have the luxury and the advanced appliance package, the smart technology and all of those things, but the look and feel is changing and it's a very cozy home.
Luxury because the whiskey room in the PNE's 91st Prize Home doubles as a media center. The garage is prepackaged with EV plugs and all the bells and whistles to keep the lawn the envy of the Langley neighborhood. Gone is the living room or sitting room that's often only used for company. Instead, a cozy library.
Or work on your laptop. We've got a number of locations in the home where you could work from home.
This 3,300 square foot offering is awaiting this year's winner. Furniture included. Estimated value, $2.5 million. Sinjin Alexander, CTV News, Vancouver.
Malcolm-Jamal Warner, known for his role on The Cosby Show, has died in a drowning accident. He was 54.
Help yourself at home and get the peanut butter's there and the celery's in the kitchen. Just don't leave.
Warner rose to fame as a child star, playing Theo Huxtable in the hit sitcom from 1984 to 1992. He also appeared in the TV series Malcolm and Eddie, Read Between the Lines, and the film Fool's Gold. Still ahead tonight, temporary tarnish for Penny Oleksiak. The star swimmer under suspension over failed reporting requirements. The details just ahead. Plus, reunited, Adam finds out the unexpected love story behind a pair of former international students. Coming up on the Sawatsky Sign-Off. Right now, here's a preview of CTV Morning Live.
Violence in BC hospitals is on the rise. Tuesday on CTV Morning Live, why the BC Nurses Union says urgent action is needed now. Also, social media is inundated with diet trends during the summer. How do you differentiate between trend and truth? Plus, many Canadians are about to feel a massive financial squeeze when it comes to their biggest expense, their mortgage, where their monthly payments may soon go up. We'll see you in the morning.
News, weather, and traffic. It's everything you need. CTV Morning Live. Weekdays 6 to 9.
Canucks fans will see a familiar face behind Canada's bench at the 2026 Winter Olympics. Former Canucks coach Rick Tocchet has been named as one of 3 assistant coaches for the men's Canadian Olympic hockey team. Hockey Canada says it's bringing back the group that helped win the 2023 Four Nations face-off. Alongside Tocchet, the staff includes Bruce Cassidy and Peter DeBoer, all supporting head coach John Cooper. Canada opens the men's Olympic tournament against Czechia on February the 12th. Olympic gold medalist Penny Oleksiak is in hot water. The Canadian swimming star has been notified she broke international anti-doping rules, but she has not tested positive for a banned substance. CTV's Sean Leathong explains.
Penny Oleksiak has accepted a voluntary suspension for a whereabouts failure with the International Testing Agency.
It's a fundamental component of the anti-doping program, and therefore the seriousness of a whereabouts violation is not significantly different than a presence violation or any of the other violations that exist.
A whereabouts failure is not a failed test. The World Anti-Doping Agency defines it as any combination of 3 missed tests or filing failures in a 12-month period. Athletes who are in the registered testing pool are expected to follow strict guidelines from the World Anti-Doping Agency to allow for testing at any time. Athletes must provide address and contact information, regular activities such as training, work, and school, competition schedules, and a 60-minute time slot for each day where they'll be available and accessible for testing.
And the consequences of a whereabouts violation range from a period of ineligibility from 2 years down to 1 year.
The 25-year-old Toronto native will have the opportunity to explain the whereabouts failures. Oleksiak withdrew from the World Aquatic Championships in early July. In a statement, she said, in part, "I want to emphasize that this whereabouts case does not involve any banned substance. It's about whether I updated my information correctly, and I am and always have been a clean athlete and will be making no further comment at this time."
I don't know if necessarily Canadians know how invasive WADA protocols are and how easily a whereabouts violation could theoretically occur.
Taylor McKee with the Sport Management Program at Brock University says there are plenty of opportunities for error in situations like this.
You have to provide your whereabouts every single day for 3 months at a time. And you have to give them an hour every single day, a time slot that they could theoretically come and test you during that period.
He says of the over 800 whereabouts failures in the past year, 313 were dismissed after explanation. McKee says it's rare for an athlete of Oleksiak's stature to have an infraction like this. Swimming Canada said in a statement, "We support her decision and believe she is a clean athlete who made an administrative mistake."
It's not easy moving a big family, especially when you've got 13 kids hanging onto your back. This mama possum attempting to squeeze under a fence with her babies in tow. She makes it through, but then realizes she's a little lighter. 2 of her babies were left hanging, but they eventually made it back over to their mom, where she was patiently waiting. Doesn't she lose count after, like, 5 or 6?
They figured it out, though.
Yeah. Okay, now to the story everyone's been talking about. Coldplay is now giving fans a kiss cam warning following a viral moment last week.
We'd like to say hello to some of you in the crowd. How we're going to do that is we're going to use our cameras and put some of you on the big screen. Oh, look at these people.
Frontman Chris Martin made the speech during the Jumbotron song at their show Saturday night. The warning came during Coldplay's first concert since last week when 2 people were captured in an embrace. The moment went viral with users claiming they were having an affair. Yeah,
wow.
This story has got so much legs.
Yeah.
You just see it everywhere.
Everywhere.
Yeah, you can't escape it. And you don't really know what's true either, like the responses
A lot of misinformation out there, yeah.
Okay, Kevin, now you've got to look ahead to your late news.
Yeah, Mijong, we are chasing the developing story of the 15-year-old Surrey boy who was stabbed to death over the weekend. We're trying to learn more about the young victim. Plus, the man accused of hijacking a plane in Victoria who was arrested at the Vancouver airport is now facing another charge. We'll explain what that could mean for his punishment. Plus, potentially a big night for users of Kit's Pool. The controversial reservation system is expected to be up for debate tonight. An emergency motion is set to be presented, which would scrap the booking system and go back to drop-in access only starting August 1st. We will let you know what happens at the meeting later tonight.
Yeah, I guess that's a holdover from the pandemic days,
From the pandemic,
right?
yeah.
Okay, thanks a lot, Kevin.
You bet.
Finally, a reunion decades in the making. 2 international students who met at a high school near Victoria returned for their reunion with an unexpected love story on tonight's Encore Sawatsky sign-off.
Natalie Meyer was leaving a boring college party early when she happened to meet Juan Lucio, who was doing the same.
And then we just started talking, and it was just like so nice.
And by the time they'd stopped their impromptu walk around the college campus, the international students had started falling in love.
We started a conversation that never ended.
Natalie was 17, Juan 18, and after 3 dynamic months at school in Canada, she had to return to Holland and he Colombia.
And we would call sometimes, but it was very expensive.
So they wrote countless letters to each other over the next couple of years until the distance caused them to grow apart.
It's hard. It really is.
Yeah, I was very unhappy.
Over the following decades, both started families with other people. But after Natalie's marriage ended, she found herself wondering about Juan.
And I was just really curious how he was doing.
She found him on Facebook and sent a message.
I was very excited.
You see, Juan was also divorced and had been trying to reconnect with Natalie too, but couldn't find her online because her name had changed. He called her as soon as he could.
And 30 seconds later, I feel as if time had not passed.
Natalie felt the same, so they started writing regularly, phoning daily, and exchanging songs online. It began with Natalie sending this reimagining of Vivaldi's Spring and Juan sharing a Puerto Rican ballad about love that can never be forgotten.
We really connected or started to connect through music.
But before their soundtrack of love could grow into a playlist spanning 51 hours, they agreed to connect in person.
Really, really nervous.
While Natalie waited for Juan at the airport, a camera from a Dutch TV show just happened to capture their reunion, 35 years in the making.
It was so wonderful. It was wonderful.
I felt like I was coming home.
And now, Natalie and Juan are back in BC for their college reunion and celebrating 3 years of having a second chance at first love.
Well, I think love works in mysterious ways. Through time, through places, and through cultures. It's just very magical.
Adam Sawatsky, CTV News, Victoria.
What are the odds, right? A high school first love, and then...
Love a good love story.
Yeah, 35 years later.
I love how they're first writing each other letters, and then, the 30 years later, they contact each other via Facebook. So it's also, the advent of technology playing a role, right?
Yeah, but there is something nice about written letters, right? Don't you think?
I do.
Not that we ever get mail anymore, right? All right, you've got Scenic Snapshot stuff.
It's time. Look at this gorgeous photo. This is from Michelle Mully of Tofino, our very own Surf City on Vancouver Island. Please send us your photos to scenicsnapshot@ctv.ca.
Tofino, one of my favorite places in the world.
So great.
So beautiful there. All right, thanks for joining us. Kevin's back at 11:30. Have a great evening.
See you later. Good night.